Param Jashodanandana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatidabhanachari Jai Kunjabe Hare Jai Jamunatidabhanachari Jai Kunjabe Hare Jai Jai Kunjabe Hare Jayam Viṣṇu Padparamahansa Paribrajaka Acharya Sarasada Srimad Shala Abhacharana Arabinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Pratishtata Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Navadip Mayapur Dham ki Sisinita Gaushita Nad Pramanande Hari Hari Bol Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Jitapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Shagurajatam Shahagara Raganatam Vitang Tang Shajibam Shadvaitam Shavadutam Parijanashaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Shibisha Gangvidangscha Mantra Guru Ajota Shikha Guru Ganta Charane Age Kori Abandon Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Shinda Beba Cha Potitanam Pabane Boboishna Beba Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatta Desha Tarine Krishna Shradam Upagade Dharma Jnana Divi Shaha Kalau Nastadrishamesha Purana Karuno Ditaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Savai Vishva Srijam Garbho Deva Karmatma Shaktiman Vihabhajat Manatmanam Ekadha Dashadha Tridha Savai Vishva Srijam Garbho Deva Karma Shaktiman Vibhabhajat Manatmanam Ekada Dashada Tridha. Please chant. Matrimandoli. Shaha, that, by, certainly. Vissa Shrijam, of the gigantic Virat form, Garbha, total energy, Deva, living energy, Karma, activity of life, Atma, self, Shaktiman, full with potencies, Vibhabhaja, Vibhabhaja, divided. Atmana, by himself. Atmanam, himself. Ekada, in oneness. Dashadha, in 10. Tridha, and in 3. We have been requested by the respective authorities to read verses 6, 7, and 8. Text 6. The gigantic virāṭ-puruṣa, known as Hiraṇmaya, lived for 1,000 celestial years on the water of the universe, and all the living entities lay with him. Purport. After the Lord entered each and every universe as Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, half of the universe was filled with water. The cosmic manifestation of the planetary systems, outer space, etc., which are visible to us, is only one half of the complete universe. Before the manifestation takes place, and after the entrance of Vishnu within the universe, there is a period of 1,000 celestial years. All the living entities injected within the womb of the mahat-tattva are divided in all universes within the incarnation of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, and all of them lie down with the Lord until Brahmā is born. Brahmā is the first living being within the universe, and from him all other demigods and living creatures are born. Manu is the original father of mankind, and therefore in Sanskrit mankind is called manuṣya. Humanity in different bodily qualities is distributed throughout the various planetary systems. That's why we're referred to as nitya baddha, eternally conditioned, because even before the creation we were in the body of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu for 1,000 celestial years, waiting for the next material creation. And we carry on. Bhutva praliyate. Again and again. That's called, so it's beyond time. Even before time began to be calculated, we were conditioned. It's called nitya baddha. Text 7. The total energy of the mahat-tattva in the form of the gigantic virāṭ-rūpa is divided by himself into the consciousness of the living entities, the life of activity, and self-identification, which are subdivided into 1, 10, and 3 respectively. Purport. Consciousness is the sign of the living entity, or the soul. The existence of the soul is manifest in the form of consciousness called Jnana Shakti. Total consciousness is that of the gigantic virāṭ-rūpa, and the same consciousness exhibited in individual person. The activity of consciousness is performed through the air of life, which is of 10 divisions. The airs of life are called prana, apana, udana, dhyana, shamana, and are also differently qualified as naga, karma, krikar, deva, datta, dhananjaya. The consciousness of the soul becomes polluted by material atmosphere and thus various activities are exhibited in the false ego of bodily identification. These various activities are described in Bhagavad Gita 241 as bahushakahi anantasya bhutayo abhyabhashayanam. The conditioned soul is bewildered into various activities for want of pure consciousness. In pure consciousness, the activity is one. The consciousness of the individual soul becomes one with the supreme consciousness when there is complete synthesis between the two. The monists believe that there is only one consciousness, whereas the sattvatas, or the devotees, believe that although there is undoubtedly one consciousness, they are one because there is agreement. The individual consciousness is advised to dovetail with the Supreme Consciousness as instructed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarva-dharman parijagya mam ekam sharanam braja. The individual consciousness, Arjuna, is advised to dovetail with the Supreme Consciousness and thus maintain his conscious purity. It is foolish to try to stop the activities of consciousness, but they can be purified when they are dovetailed with the Supreme. The consciousness is divided into three modes of self-identification according to the proportion of purity. Adhyatmika, or self-identification, which the body and the mind. Adibhautika, or self-identification with the material products. And adidaivika, or self-identification as a servant of the Lord. Of the three, adidaivika, self-identification, is the beginning of purity of consciousness in pursuance of the desire of the Lord. Text number 8. The gigantic universal form of the Supreme Lord is the first incarnation and plenary portion of the Supersoul. He is the self of an unlimited number of living entities, and in him rests the aggregate creation which thus flourishes. Purport: the Supreme Lord expands himself in two ways, by personal plenary expansions and separated minute expansions. The personal plenary expansions are Viṣṇu tattva, and the separated expansions are living entities. Since the living entities are very small, they are sometimes described as the marginal energy of the Lord. But the mystic yogis consider the living entities and the Supersoul Paramatma to be one and the same. It is, however, a minor point of controversy, after all. Everything created rests on the gigantic virāṭ, or universal form of the Lord. Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Mukham karati bhachalam pangam langai te girim jat kripa tamaham bande shri gunam dinatarinam. The monists believe that there is only one consciousness, whereas the sattvatas, or the devotees, believe that although there is undoubtedly one consciousness, they are one because there is agreement. The Vaishnava Siddhanta. Could write a PhD just on this purport. There's so much philosophy. Gyan, tattva gyan, amrake, yeah. So, in simple terms, therefore, because the consciousness is one consciousness, I mean, how can there be anything else? That's God. That's the Supreme. Om Purnam. Om Purnam. There's nothing else beside him. So we're also God. There's many theologies that don't even understand this. They think there's competitors. And God is not in control of everything, like the devil. He's a rogue. He's gone rogue. And it's a competition. But it's not the proper philosophical conclusion, because there's no rogue. He's everything. He's everything. So that's the minute, the anu atma, because it's so small, becomes affected by material energy. And this one question is everything. Kshetra gyam cha apimam vidi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra tayo jnanam yattat jnanam matimata. That knowledge means kshetra gayo jnanam. To know the material energy, kshetra, and kshetragya, the knower of the material energy, of which there are two, super soul and individual soul. Sava kshetreshu. Kshetra kshetra kyo jnanam yatta jnanam matama. Knowing this is called jnana. That's jnana. Everything is, Krishna is everything, and we're also, but we get affected by the inferior energy. So this is the most important question. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Unfortunately, you go to the school from the first grade, even you to 10th grade, and even you go to the college, never they'll answer this question. Never they'll even ask this question, who am I? What does Pig give an answer? I was in the college, I went to expensive college. Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. Maybe, who knows who listens online these days? Royal Melbourne, maybe, who knows? Very expensive. All my brothers and sisters went to college, 6 of us. I asked the professors, I asked them, I thought these fools at school, these foolish teachers at school, they cannot answer. When I get to university, then they're professors. Āṇḍa-kośa, they will answer. So I said, why do we have to suffer? No one wants to, but everyone has to. Why? Who made that law? Why is that law there? Who made the law? Everyone has to suffer. Where were we before? 20 years, I was 20 years. Where was I before this? Where will I go after? Why am I here? And the professors, they looked at me and said, there's something wrong with this boy. Life is for enjoyment. Fortunately, in a college library, our preachers, Prabhupada's disciples in Melbourne, they had placed Prabhupada's books in the library, and that saved me. But who am I? Who am I? Therefore, the most significant meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his most intimate students, Rupa Sanatana, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale, who established the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the most important students. In fact, if you consider the in terms of the time given, Chaitanya, the Sanatana Shikha, if the time given, there's the most extensive teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's 4 chapters of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, 4 chapters. Everything else, 1 chapter. Ramananda Samvad, Rupa Shikha, Sarvabhauma Udar, Prakasananda Saraswati. The Sanatana Shikha, 4 chapters. And Prabhupada, he introduced the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Shikha, Sanatana Shikha. That's not the beginning of the book. Not the beginning of the book. Prabhupada selected that, the first introduction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He considered it very important. And it is so important. When the eternal associates of the Lord, they appear to take instruction, and those instructions should be studied deeply. In fact, the Sanatana Shikha is so important that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he requested one devotee to wait for 15 years just to hear that. Yeah, we'll explain a little more of that in detail. But the Sanatana Shikha, how does it begin? How does it begin? What's the first thing he asks? Sanatana Goswami. What does he ask? We have many learned scholars here. Rishi Putro. Kayami. Amike. Kayami. Before that, he said a little prelude. He says that was that Grame Pandit? What is that? What's that? Satya Korimani. Grame Babahari Pandit, Satya Korimani. Everyone calls me a Pandit. Satya Korimani, yes, I agree. But Kayami, I do not know who I am. Kayami, Kene Amare, Ujori Topotrai, Ihanahe Jane Kamon Hitohoi. If I do not know who I am, what's the use of anything? If I do not know who I am, what's the use of anything? You're in a madness. You're in a complete. Everything is. Prabhupada says so many zeros without a 1. You don't know who you are. It's all just useless. The main point, the main purpose of this human form of life, and therefore the first thing that Sanatana Goswami he inquires, is first opportunity. Labhamatra Shadhu Shanga Sharva Siddhi Hoy. You don't waste the opportunity. Oh, Maharaj, how was the flight? Huh? Same as every other flight. You get on, you sit, you get off. It's useless questions. And who am I? Huh? I was in the elevator. We were in Kolkata, Rath Yatra. Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. We were fortunate to associate with him, Kolkata Rath Yatra. Now we only remember him in Kolkata Rath Yatra. But he would lecture. We would be there. We would introduce him. He used to like that the foreigners would introduce. He would sit and listen. We would tell many things about him, the Calcutta Bashis. And he would say, look, these foreigners, they're more interested in Lord Chaitanya's culture than you. He liked it. So we got in, I'm coming down the building, same building, just near the temple, Kolkata. Maharaj, we were going to the program. He gets into the elevator. I was on one floor. He was on. He gets in the elevator. So a few moments, what to do? So I asked Maharaj, "What's your vision for Panihati? What's your vision for Panihati?" And his answer was, I still meditate on. You know, it's amazing. I was thinking, well, if a guest house, and then we'll get more land and all this. He said that there's 4 places Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is permanently present. Nityananda Nache, where Lord Nityananda dances. Sachi Randane, where Sachimata cooks. Srivas Angane, the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. Raghav Bhabane. Raghav Bhabane in Panihati, the house of Raghav Pandit. Lord Chaitanya is permanent, and he says, I'm always present in those places. That was his answer. What's the vision for Panihati? That was his answer. And then the door opened and we went. So Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada, the first thing he inquires, Kayami, who am I? I mean, he knows. He knows. In Ramkelly, Mahaprabhu said, Aj hoite toma naam rup Sanatan. Dhanna chara toma, dhanna fette mon. Give up your humility, it's breaking my heart. Now I'm giving you the names, Rup Sanatan. You are my Nitya Das. Puraton Das, he says, you are my Ama Puraton Das. You are my eternal servants, he says. He tells them. So he doesn't come and say, hey, I'm your eternal servant, what's next? No, he says, Kayami, who am I? So that's the question. And what does Mahaprabhu answer? He answers, yes, that Jivera Swarupoy, Krishna Nitya Das, Krishna Tatashta Shakti, Bed Abed Prakash. Is that? Prabhupada says that. Although undoubtedly there is one consciousness, they are one because they're agreement. Bed Abed Prakash. Actually, our philosophy is Achincha Bed Abed Tattva. But it's not discussed so much. But in this crucial moment, it's discussed. Who am I? Bed Abed Tattva Prakash. That's who you are. You're one with God and different from God. Krishna, Tatashta Shakti, marginal potency, Bed Abed Prakash. One and different, simultaneously one and different. So that's enough. If you understand, we are God. We are God. Mama eba angsha, jivaloke. Mama eba angsha. But that we've forgotten. That we are God. We are God's energy. We are manifest like sun and sun rays. Now, if we can just use this life to just realize that, then all problems are solved. Every breath. What is that? Karma shanendriya prati labho jiva. Jiva shatatta jigyasha. Na ata cheshta karma bi. There shouldn't be any other objective work. Jivasha tatta jigyasha. Tatta, who am I? Tatta jigyasha. Jivasha, purpose of life. Purpose of life is to get the answer to this. That's why we're the purpose of everything. Amike, who am I? Krishna Nitya Das. Of course, there's so much more. Once we understand that, Jiv Krishna Das, a bishash correlate to adukhanai. Jiv Krishna Das, a bishash. Correlate to adukhanai. This is the solution. This is a simple. Serve Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. There was a story, Prabhupada, Amsterdam temple opening. Prabhupada was so frustrated, the devotees, everything was a mess. And he's yelling this, do that, where is this, where is that? And one hippie, he's thinking, why is the Swami so upset? He says, you should chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, yes. Yes. Prabhupada, yes. Chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna bolo sange cholo. Ei matro bikachai. Radha Krishna bolo sange cholo. Ei matro. Only this. Bikachai, I'm begging from you. Ikshikani shabnadi fiche neche gaunitai. Radha Krishna bolo de shabai. So simple. Jiv Krishna Das. It's so simple. But again, the people don't know. They don't know. The most simple thing is not complicated. It's not complicated. Your daughters. It is. Already the training. This is human life is meant for this. Chanting the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. In Maya Podam Shatam Prishangam. What achievement at such an early age. What an achievement. Navadip Shardane. What is it? Sarva-tirtha Brahmā Taitika Jahapai. Traveling to all the holy places. Taitika Jahapai. Navadip Shardane Shailab Shastragai. By remembering Navadip. What to speak is sitting in the association of Vaishnavas chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. That's it. You can retire. You've done your Grihastha life complete. What an achievement. Navadip Dham. So this Sanatan Shik is so important that Mahaprabhu, he told one devotee to go and wait for 15 years. Would you like to hear about that? Mahaprabhu, this is at the time of Navadip Chandra. He was a young boy. He was only 16 years old. At that time he was debating with the Chakrabartis, the Mishras, the Bhattacharjas. He was humiliating them. He was every day going and bargaining with Sridhar. At that time, Navadip Chandra. He defeated Digvijay on the banks of Ganga. He was 16 years old. At that time, he was just married, Lakhi Priya. Lakhi Priya was 11. And suddenly he decided to go to East Bengal. Because so many people were there, already so many followers were there in East Bengal. They mentioned that we were reading your commentaries. Navadip, Chaturdik hoite log, Navadipe jai, Navadip porile shay bidda rosh pai. Navadip porile, if you study in Navadip, shay bidda rosh pai, you get a taste for learning. So Chaturdik hoite, from all directions, people were coming to Navadip to study. But in East Bengal, many people, they were desiring, but they couldn't arrange. There's so much facilities required, travel to Navadip, accommodation, money, everything. So he went on tour to teach. As a Grihastha, he went on tour. So merciful. He went on tour. And he reached Padmavati. I just was there last week, so I'm kind of still... We took bath in Padmavati river, so I'm still kind of feeling the effect. Padmavati, so beautiful, the river is so beautiful. She's a Ganga Anga, she's a branch of Ma Ganga, but technically not Ganga. Ganga comes at Ramkeli, at Melda, Faraka Dam. She turns and comes to Bay of Bengal, she comes south. Bhagirati Ganga. We bathe here, Bhagirati Ganga. As the path of Bhagirati Maharaj, who brought her this way. But there's another branch continues in the same direction into Bangladesh, and she's called Padma River. So Mahaprabhu, he left from here, Navadip, he went in the direction East Bengal, Purva Bengal Bhumi. Of course, that's a very special, Mahaprabhu, so many special associates appeared there. This, I went to Bangladesh, I visited, first time, the birthplace of Vasudeva and Mukunda Datta. You should come sometime. Vasudeva Mukunda Datta birthplace we have. We have Ganada Pandit birthplace, we have Srivas Thakur birthplace, we have Advaita Thakur birthplace. Pundarik Vidyanidhi Mahodaya, Rup Sanatan, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So Mahaprabhu, that's a special place. Purva Bengal Bhumi. Jai Deshe, Jai Kule, Vaishnav Avatare, Ta Prabhabe, Loka Jojan Nishtare, Jai Desh, that land, Jai Kule, that family, Vaishnav Avatare, where a Vaishnav appears, Ta Prabhabe, by his potency, Loka Yojan, 100,000 yojans. That's mile, that's 80 miles, 100,000, that's 800,000 miles. Nishtare are delivered. Are delivered. Tar prabhabe loka yojan nishtare, jai deshe jai kule Vaishnav avatare. Wherever a Vaishnava, 800,000 miles. And the East Bengal, so many exalted Bhagavat, Siddha Puruṣas appeared. How special is that place? So Mahaprabhu went there for teaching. And when he reached the Padma River, the area is there. It's now Faridpur, but Rajshahi, this whole area there. He traveled along the banks of Padmavati River. And all of the residents of East Bengal, they came. Some even were awarded certificates. A certificate signed by Nimai Pandit of Navadip. Imagine such a thing. Maybe someday someone will find one of those certificates signed by Nimai Pandit of Navadip. Padabali mentions that they were awarded, and others simply came and listened. And he was there. Before leaving, he said to Lokipriya, you look after Sachi Devi, all of her requirements. I'll be gone a few days. A few days. But he went for more than a few days, for several months. And actually, Lokipriya, she, maybe I'll come to that later, but he arrived there, and so many, all of the people were coming to student. All the people. We'll read a few verses from Chitan. Vidya Prabhabe Deki Chamatka Chite. Vidya Prabhabe, seeing his learning. Vidya Prabhabe Deki Chamatka Chite. Everyone was astonished seeing his learning. Shata Shata Padoa Ashi Lagide Bodhite. Hundreds and hundreds of students were coming to take his class, to hear from him. And he was roaming. The area is very beautiful. Now, even now, still, because it's a floodplain. So there's not buildings there. There's forests. And Goshundor, he was wandering on those various forests and giving class. And hundreds of students were coming every day to hear. And he was enjoying. So he stayed several months. So the Loki Devi, she was only 11 years old. You imagine her feelings to Vishwambar, to Navadip Chandra? Could you imagine a girl like that? She's brought up in such a pious community of Brahmins in Navadip, bathing in Ma Ganga every day. She's just growing up. She's just becoming a woman, and she's married to Navadip Chandra. You can just imagine how she loved him. So it was so painful for her. At night, she would just lie down and cry. She would just lie down and cry. And she couldn't eat. And in feelings of separation. It was so painful. So she was so much aggrieved, she couldn't tolerate anymore. She gave up her life. Purport. Bihare. Prabhu Bihare, Bihara, sharp, the Viraha shop, the snake of separation. Prabhu Viraha sharp, Lokid Dangshile, Viraha sharp, Bish, Tar, Paraloka Hoile, Viraha sharp Bish. Viraha shop, you know, the different, this is an analogy. There's Kala shop, the snake of time. This is Viraha shop, the snake of separation. The poison of that snake, she gave up her body. It's not actually that she was bitten by a snake. No, it's the Viraha shop bish, the poison of the snake of separation. She couldn't tolerate, and on the banks of Ma Ganga, she went into Jog Nidra, internal meditation, and it left her body. The banks of Ma Ganga. because she again could unite with Gauchanda. If you want to see Lakhi Priya, you can see her in Jogpit, the deity installed by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Sachidananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He installed Gauchanda, Lakhi Priya and Vishnu Priya in Jogpit, the central temple. You can take her darshan. She's associating with Prabhu Nitya eternally in the Jogpit. So she went to reunite herself. Now, Gaudhari, he knows everything. He knew that Lakhi Priya had departed. When he came back, it's very interesting. He came back home. He was with some students. After 3 months, he came back home. His wife has departed, but it wasn't discussed immediately. It wasn't discussed. He came back, he went and took bath at the Ganga with his students, and they were Ganga Jal Kela. They were having fun in the Ganga. Many months he had been away. Of course, Padmavati, his separation from Ma Ganga was satiated by bathing in Padmavati. But he came back, Ma Ganga Snan, and then he came home, and then he did puja. And then he sat down, and Sachimata, she offered him prasadam. And then he relaxed in the inner quarters, and many friends and relatives were there, and he was chatting for several hours, even joking about the dialect in Srihatta and East Bengal. And all that time, Sachimata, she was not coming in front of Sachinandan. And then gradually the guests were leaving late in the evening, and then he asked, "Tell me what has happened to your daughter-in-law?" Alaukik lila. He doesn't discuss it for many hours upon arrival at home. Of course, there's no purport to that, but it's just something that is fascinating. After in the evening, late in the evening, then he asks, "So what has happened to your daughter-in-law?" And then Sachimata, she couldn't answer. And then others said that she has attained the eternal abode. So back in Padma River, Keturi Dam, Keturi Rajshahi Faridpur, where Mahaprabhu was, there was one Brahmin. His name was Tapan Mishra. He was a learned scholar. He was a Vaishnav Brahmin. He was initiated, and he was doing sadhana. He was chanting Hare Krishna. But still, he was not clear on the shadon shadda tattva, shadon shadda, the goal of life and the process of achieving it. And so he was confused. So in a dream, an effulgent demigod-like person appeared to him and said that, Mishra, that this Pandit who has come from Nadia, he is not an ordinary being. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here you are fortunate that you can take his association. You can inquire from him. All of your questions will be answered. But you cannot tell anyone that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now just remember, this is like a trailer. Kali Juge Jugadharma Name Prochar Toti Lage Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar. He appeared Toti Lage Chaitanya Name Prochar to spread the holy name. But that only began after taking initiation, which was 4 years later from this point. He's a scholar. He's Navadip Chandra, Dvijamani, the jewel of the Navadip Brahmins. And he's enjoying the Bidda Lila. He's enjoying defeating the scholars and humiliating them and curbing their pride. Adikanda, Sri Gauchanda sarva-sattvopabṛṁhitaḥ, Sri Bhuvanai, Heno Nahi Shai Shanmukhahoi. The Adikanda describes how Gauchanda sarva-sattvopabṛṁhitaḥ, he'd mastered all the scriptures, Sri Bhuvanai, within the three worlds. Heno Nahi Shai Shanmukhahoi. No one could stand before him and debate Shastra. And in this way he was performing lila, enjoying. And all the Navadip Basis were simply prostrating themselves on the banks of Ganga. Hey, Ganga Devi, Poti Paboni, please make Nimaya devotee. They're praying, make Nimaya devotee. So there he is a scholar, and this Tapan Mishra, he comes, and he begins to inquire, Shadhan Shatta, what is the goal of life and how to attain it? Many important things that Goshunda, he broke the role, you could say. He began the preaching. Even though at this time he's Nimai Pandit. Bahu Shastra Bahu Bhakya Chitte Brahma Hoy Shadhan Shatta Shadhan Shadda Nishchoy Nahoy Bahu Shastra Bahu Bhakya. Too many instructions, too many scriptures. Chitta Brahma Hoy. You become confused. Shadhan Shadda Tatta Nishchoy Nahoy. You're not clear on what is the goal or how to achieve it. Mahaprabhu explained to him. And then he explained that, I'll read a few things. He says, Shuno Mishra, Kali Juge Nahi Tapa Jagya, Kali Juge Nahi Tapa Jagya, Jai John Bhaje Krishna Tar Mahabhagya. The one who worships Krishna, he is the most fortunate. It's so sweet. Mahaprabhu personally explaining this, the Juga Dharma. Kali Juga Nahi Tapa Jagya Jai Krishna Bhaje Shai Mahabhagya. Shadhan, Shadda Shadhan Tatta Jai Kichu Shakal. What is there everything to know about the process and the goal? Shadhan Shadda Tatta Jai Kichu Shakal Harinam Shankirtan Mili Be Shakal. Everything is contained within the congregational chanting of the holy name. That's it. Everything you need to know about the process and the goal is contained within the chant Shankirtan Shakal Mili. Mili Be Shakal with Vaishnavas. That's it. The highest teaching, the highest conclusion, the highest process, the highest goal. The highest process, the highest goal. Nam Shankirtan. Go locate a prema dhan, Hari Nam Shankirtan. Go locate a prema dhan, Hari Nam Shankirtan. Roti na janmilo kene tai. Roti na janmilo kene. Why I didn't awaken a taste. Roti na janmilo kene tai. This is my predicament. Why I didn't awaken a taste for the Nam Shankirtan. And upon initiation, Mahaprabhu was given the order. Nache gao bhakti shange koro Shankirtan. Dance, chant in association of the devotees. Nache gao bhakti shange koro Shankirtan. Krishna nama upadeshi tara sharabajan. And deliver. Oh, tara sharabajan, deliver everybody. Preach the Nam Shankirtan movement. And then he, so kindly, so clearly, sometimes we hear it inquired, oh, where is Hare Krishna Mahamantra mentioned? In Bhagavad Gita? No. Even in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But here it mentions particularly, Ei shlok nam bali loy mahamantra shalo nam bhaitrishaka ei tantra. Ei shlok nam bali loy mahamantra. I'm telling the verse, I'm giving the verse, mahamantra. Shalo nam bhaitrishaka. 16 names, 32 syllables. Ei tantra. This is the process. He personally spoke. And he quoted so many other Puranic evidences. What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Iti shodashakam nam nam kalikalmashanashanam nata paratarupaya sharva vedeshu drishyate. Even after an extensive study of all the Vedas, sarva vedeshu drishyate. Nata paratarupaya. You will not find a superior path. Nata paratarupaya. Iti shodashakam nam nam. Then these 16 names. He quoted, Mahaprabhu also quoted the verse. So then, being extremely overwhelmed with transcendental joy, anandita hoile mon. Overwhelmed with transcendental joy, having his inquiries perfectly answered by the Supreme Lord himself. Tapan Mishra, Prabhu, he requested Mahaprabhu to, I want to stay with you. I want to join, I want to go to Navadip. He was leaving at the time, he was just leaving, and all of the respectable aristocratic Brahmins, Vaishnavas and students, they all came before him with various gifts of blankets and cloth and gold and other valuable goods to offer him before he was returning to Navadip. At that time, Tapan Mishra came and this discussion was conveyed. And he said, I want to return with you to Navadip Dham. Tar Icha, his desire. Kaviraj Goswami is explaining. A few verses from Chaitanya Bhagavat we read, a few verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur predicted that the foreigners would learn Bengali to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So today you are seeing his prediction fulfilled. But not just one. Why just one? So many. Tar Icha Prabhu Shange Navadip Bashi. Tar Icha Prabhu Shange Navadip Bashi. He's desiring to go with Prabhu to reside in Navadip. Tar Icha Prabhu Shange Navadip Bashi. Prabhu Agya Dilo Tumi Jao Varanasi. Prabhu Agya Dilo Tumi Jao Varanasi. This is amazing. He wants to come to Navadip. So many from Bengal are coming to Navadip. They all came. Advaita Thakur, Shivas Thakur, Shivananda Shain, Murari Gupta, Balab Shain, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Vasudev Mukunda Datta, Gadadha Pandit. They all came from East Bengal. Tapan Mishra, I want to come to Navadip. Prabhu Agyadilo Jao Tumi Varanasi. You go to Varanasi. Even Kaviraj Goswami is astonished. Why? He's saying, go to Varanasi. Even Kaviraj Goswami, he says, Prabhu Artakya Leela Bujite Napari. I cannot understand Prabhu's Leela. Prabhu Artakya Leela Bujite Napari Shashanga Chariya Keno Patiye Kashipuri. I cannot understand Mahaprabhu's Leela. Not allowing him to associate with him directly, he sent him to Varanasi. Why? I don't know. Because. The answer is because he wanted to know about it. Mahaprabhu, he answered very briefly, very briefly. Just a few verses, a few statements. Sadhan Shaddo. What is the process? What is the goal? But he said, you go to Varanasi. Tapan Mishra doesn't know why, but 15 years later, he went there. And he went at that time, Sigrajao. You go quickly to Varanasi. He went. And 15 years later, you can do the calculation. Tar modde choy bochur gamon agamon, kabu dokin, kabu gaur, kabu brindavan. Mahaprabhu's Madhva Leela is summarized, one verse by Kaviraj Goswami. Char modde choy bochur, within his life, tar modde choy bochur, 6 years, gamon agamon, coming and going from Puri. Kabu dokin, kabu gaur, kabu brindavan. He went South Indian tour, 2 years. He went to Bengal, to Ramkelli, to deliver Rupa Sanatan. And he stayed 2 years in Puri. Kabudokin, and the Vrindavan tour was 2 years. Kabudokin, Kabu Go, Kabu Vrindavan, is 6 years. Charamodde Choi Bochur, Gamon Agamon. Madhva Leela, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, 6 years. Mahaprabhu took sannyas when he was 24. So the Madhva Leela is 6 years. So by the time he got to Varanasi, he was almost 30 years old. That's the end of the Madhva Leela. He's almost 30 years old. And here in East Bengal, he's 16 years old. So he's predicting that 15 years later. He didn't say, after 15 years I'll go to Varanasi. You be there, I'll stay in your home. And then you will also hear the Sanatan Shikha. He says, go to Varanasi now. Alaukik Leela. And then Chandrasekhar Acharya and Tapan Mishra, they were simply lamenting in Kashi. You know, only we're hearing Aham Brahmasmi. We're not hearing Krishna's name. So then they requested Mahaprabhu to preach to the sannyasis headed by Prakāśānanda Saraswati. And at the same time, Mahaprabhu, remaining in the home of Tapan Mishra, for 4 months, he instructed Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada in the Sanatana Shikha, which is everything you need to know about sadhana, shraddha, the goal of life and how to achieve it. And Prabhupada actually, he began lecturing on the Sanatana Shikha in 1968 in San Francisco. That's how important it was, that even before Bhagavad Gita, before Krishna book, before Nectar of Devotion, before second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada was teaching Sanatana Shikha. You can hear the lectures. He's reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's reading the verses. Kayami, Kane Amare, Jodi Taputrai. Grammar Babahari, Pandit, Satta Korimani, he's reading the verses. And in 1968, Srila Prabhupada ki. So today we were discussing how Prabhupada, the monists believe there is only one consciousness, whereas the sattvitas or the devotees believe that although there is undoubtedly one consciousness, they are one because there is agreement. Is there any question?
My question is regarding the incident with Lakshmi Priya that you just mentioned. From where I sit, it seems like he's apparently uncaring of his wife who left her.
Uncaring.
Yeah, uncaring, right? Meaning he comes home and you said he takes bath, he plays in the Ganga and then he comes home and then he's talking. And after all of this, then he asks, okay, where is your daughter-in-law? So apparently it's uncaring. After hearing that, I was thinking in my mind, more fortunate are the demons who fight with Krishna, and Krishna is thinking about the demons and how I'm going to, get them killed. They are more fortunate because at least Krishna is thinking about them. But his own wife, she's taking care of his mother and she's serving him personally. And he comes back and it seems to me that he's apparently...
Yeah, you think she's unfortunate? Lucky Priya? She's the most fortunate.
No.
So much prema, so much love that she can leave. How much love she has. Lucky Priya. How special she is. How special she is. Yeah, there's no separation. That's it. How much love she has. Who can do that? Who can compare? Lucky Priya ki. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki.